The United States has often been a rogue against the liberal order, such as in the invasion of Iraq in 2003. The United States, I think it's a big mistake to equate the post-war liberal order with American policy. The United States has perpetrated some of the most destructive wars in the post-war era, such as the Vietnam War. So a populist pushback in the United States is not the same as the unraveling of the liberal order. The United States is a most powerful country, but it's just one country.
Fair enough. But independent of the United States, are we, maybe just a little speculation, who do we see in terms of nation states stepping up to fill some of that vacuum? That recognizing the United States has played that sort of dual-faced role.
Yeah. Well, most obviously France and
Yes.
Germany. And we might be seeing, too soon to say, but some of the most successful countries are small countries, small in terms of population and economies, like Canada, like Portugal, like Iceland, like Ireland, like Switzerland, which by a lot of measures of flourishing are doing much better than the great powers like the United States and even Britain, and certainly Russia. And smaller countries are more likely to innovate. They have less politicized baggage for any change they may make in policy, and so the cutting edge, the role models, may be these wealthy intermediate sized
sort of middle powers.
Yeah.
But what about the gorilla in the room, China?
Yeah.
Where does China fit in the new book? I mean, it dominates in so many ways, and it's very clearly the rising of power. We are moving from a unipolar to a multipolar or a multiplex world. How does China figure?
A striking thing about China is how, despite the expansion of the islands and beefing up the military, they haven't fought a whole lot of wars. I mean, I think the last one was in a border skirmish in Vietnam in the late 80s, and then there was another one in 1979. But they have a much better track record of staying out of wars than the United States, certainly at least in the post-Mao era. And a lot of people don't quite appreciate this, but there is a tension between commercial states and martial states, military states, that war is bad for trade, bad for business, and a regime that vests its legitimacy on raising the standard of living for as many of its people as it can, and is enmeshed in commercial ties with the rest of the world, has a less of an incentive to screw those up by starting to fight wars. And so it may not be a coincidence that during the decades in which China abandoned the Maoist ideology and became this kind of hyper-capitalist society, even though they don't call it that, and it's retreated from overt warfare is probably not a coincidence. There are data that show that countries that are more commercial and pairs of countries that have greater trading relationships are less likely to go to war.